welcome to another video episode of my podcast. My name is Cheryl, and this is Cappuccino Crafts, my little channel on YouTube and my corner of the general interwebs where I like to talk about knitting and sometimes crochet, and also books I might be reading or listening to, and TV or movies that I'm enjoying, and other life and chatty things that are important to me and that I want to share with you. So, I wasn't sure whether to put this up front or not, but I'm going to purposely try and keep this fairly short and not go on and on, because if I start, I could really go on and it might become a pretty bad rant. But I'm gonna try and just keep it real short. And yeah, in the United States, we are really having a terrible time right now with our race issues and police violence and riots and a whole bunch of things. And it's very, very ugly. And I just want to share, because I feel it's important to do something. And I feel like even if it's a small thing, anybody who really wants to can do even one small thing. For example, now I know not everybody is financially able right now, because it's also a difficult time for so many people being unemployed and things. But if you do have financial resources that you are able to donate in any amount, even if it's not a large amount, to donate to Black Lives Matter or any other worthy charity supporting Black issues in a positive way, that is a great thing that some people can do. And learn a little bit more. And I read a book last year about race, which was really helpful to me and really helped open my eyes and help me understand some things. And then I had intentions to read more, but unfortunately I didn't. But I am going to start another book, and I've chosen it. But right now I'm going to suggest a few books. I'm going to start with nonfiction and then a couple fiction recommendations. The one that I read last year, and I do highly recommend it. I thought it was a really good book, and it is So You Want to Talk About Race by Ijeoma Oluo. Another one that I have heard so many recommendations from so many people about that I really want to read is Stamped from the Beginning by Ibram X. Kendi. Another one that focuses on the justice system and police interactions specifically is The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. And another one that I just downloaded on some good recommendations, and is the one that I'm planning to read, is Who Do You Serve? Who Do You Protect? Again, specifically focusing on police violence and race issues between the community, Black community and police and the justice system. This is an essay collection, so there are different authors. It is edited by Maya Schenwar and Joe Macare. And another one who's an author I've heard so many people recommend, and this book specifically, is Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates. And it is a letter from Ta-Nehisi Coates to his son about growing up as a Black male and how Black maleness is perceived in the wider community, and issues that his son is going to have to be aware of and face as he grows up and lives his life. And I have heard wonderful things about this book. And then a few fiction recommendations. And two of them I'm going to just give authors because I think they are really, really outstanding authors with a pretty good body of work. So there are a lot to choose from, but Toni Morrison and Alice Walker. And then the last fiction is a specific book by Ta-Nehisi Coates. And this is a fiction, the fiction book that he wrote, it came out last year, and it has some aspects of African folklore and also explores issues of slavery and freedom within that. And it sounds like a really good book, and one that I am very interested to read as well as a fiction book. But yeah, so that's another thing you can do. You can read an article, even if you don't read a whole book, but do a little reading, a little educating yourself to help understand what the issues underneath all this are, and how race relations affect us, and specifically the Black community or African community. Anyway, so that's another thing you can do. Volunteering is probably more complicated right now because things aren't fully open, and doing in-person volunteering. But there may be some things you can do that aren't in person, maybe some things you can do over the phone or on the internet or remotely, ways that you can volunteer. Anyway, but I do feel like it is important to think about what we can do, even if it's a small thing, and just not to stay completely silent and just pretend that it's not happening. yeah, so that probably took a little longer than I thought, going through all those titles and everything. Um, but I felt like it was really important, and because it was so important, I really felt like I wanted to put it early in the video. Um, anyway, that's what I did, and that's what I have to say about that. And now let's get to some crafting, and after that I need a little bit of tea. This is my llama mug. It's so cute. I really do like it. The tea that I am drinking today is a loose leaf tea from teasource.com, and it is a black tea with a little bit of fruit and natural fruit flavors called Mango Tango. So black tea and mango, and it's delicious. And I have some milk and a little bit of vanilla syrup in here. Really good. I hope that you are enjoying a delicious beverage. I hope you've settled in and have your yarn and your hook or needles, or maybe some fiber and a spinning wheel or whatever you need. And let's get to some crafty goodness. Crafting has been going better this week. I am progressing, as you can see, on this kind of chunky binding to finish the cropped body of the sweater, and I have put in a couple little pink stripes to keep all the colors going together throughout. And I also, there's a little trick that I learned, and I will share with you, because often when you have stripes, either with self-striped yarn or when you're manual striping, you will get, because you've got pearls here in the ribbing, you will get little blips in the pearl parts of your ribbing when the color changes. And that doesn't give a very clean stripe look. And now that may not, there are plenty of people that may not mind that. It's something that you might not mind at all. It might be something that you actually like, and that's fine. That's good. But if what you want is something a little bit sharper for the stripe, a little bit cleaner, there is a nifty and very simple trick you can do, which I have done, and I'm doing it right now because I just changed color. In the row where the new color starts, for that first row with the new color, you don't do any pearls, even though you're in a ribbing section. But for that one row, you just purl all the way across until you come back to the beginning of the round. And so that's what I'm doing. I have not purled here. I just kept on knitting. And then once you do one round of just knit, then you go back to the ribbing pattern and you do knits and purls. And you'll see here that you can't really see that there was a row of knits. It doesn't disrupt the purl section, and it doesn't cause a problem with the ribbing. But you have a very clean stripe, and it looks nice and sharp. No blips. And so I talked last week about wanting to start a sock, and I did start a pair of socks this week. So let me show my socks to you. Here they are. Oh, now the front side is facing on both. There is just a little bit of a pattern. It is mostly stockinette, but there is just a little bit of a pattern insert with a little bit of eyelets right there. And this does do it so that there is a left sock and a right sock, because the pattern goes on the outside of the foot. So this will be the right sock with the pattern here on the right side. And this oh wait, no, this has the pattern on the right side of the foot. So this will be the right sock. This will be the left sock, because here's the pattern on the left. This pattern is Winter's Frost. It is a free pattern downloadable from Ravelry as a PDF by This Handmade Life. That's her username and her blog name, but you don't have to go to the blog to get the pattern. It's directly on Ravelry. You can just download it for free. And that's what I did, and I'm really enjoying it. I like having just a touch of pattern. I think it's making the socks go a little bit faster for me, and it's very enjoyable. It's just a little touch of something, and I really like those socks, and I really like these colors. The colors of this yarn are so beautiful. This yarn is Lana Grossa Mylan White. Mylan White in the Santa Fe color range. And this specific color of the Santa Fe range is magenta and copper multi-color. So magenta, copper, multi in the Santa Fe range of the Lana Grossa. It is, I know, Italian or Swiss or European somewhere, commercial sock yarn. Your general sock yarn blend of 80% wool and 20% polyamide, which is the generic name for nylon. So yeah, it's a wool, polyamide, or nylon blend. Very typical commercial sock yarn. And the colors are everything, making me so happy. I am enjoying them very, very much. So I also had one of my holds come in from the library. One of the electronic books. It's an audio book file. So I did download that, and I started listening to Uprooted by Naomi Novik, which is a fantasy novel kind of based on Eastern European fairy tale a little bit. And I have heard some people compare it a little bit to a Beauty and the Beast type story. But I'm still at the very beginning of that, so not very far at all. I may be like 30 minutes, 30 minutes in. But the basic opening premise is that there is a small village in kind of a province or a county. So there are several villages in the county or province or whatever, and they are this small group of villages is under the protection of a dragon who lives in the woods. So as a tribute for protection and peace in their villages, and I think he also might help with the crops or, other things, provide things if there is need. Anyway, but for his help and protection, every so many years, I can't remember how many, I'm not sure if it's said yet, a 17-year-old girl out of all the 17-year-old girls in the villages is chosen. So there's a feast where the villages come together, and they present all the 17-year-old girls, and one of them is chosen by the dragon to come and live with him. And that's their tribute. And then I guess as soon as it's time for the next girl, the previous girl has done her time, so she is allowed to go freely wherever she wants to go. And in the first part of the book, we learn that these girls don't end up choosing to return to their normal lives in the village. They generally don't stay in the village where they're from. They end up, maybe spending a week or a month or so with their families again, and then going off into the wider world to live their lives and kind of live unconventional lives for that time. Some of them might go and study. Some of them might go to a larger, anyway, but they go out into the wider world. They live kind of unconventional lives and do things that most girls from villages would not do. And so it is leading up to, I think in the next little bit, it's just about time for the feast to happen. They're getting ready for it and people are gathering, and so the girl is going to be chosen soon, and then we will follow her and learn what happens to her as she goes and lives with the dragon. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. And I already said that I did download the Who Do You Serve, Who Do You Protect, and I plan to start that. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. Da, da, da. And yeah, I've been continuing to look for funny shows to stream on Netflix or whatever. And so I'm still definitely wanting laughs and needing laughs. Laughter is so good for us. I really believe that. So finding funny things and getting some laughs is really helpful for me. And dun, 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 dun. But I haven't found any new funny things that I think are especially like noteworthy or I especially have much to say about. So yeah. And I think that really kind of covers everything that's been really heavy on my mind this week, and also that I've been working on for crafting and reading and things. So I hope that you're hanging in there. Yeah, take care. I hope that you're finding good ways to keep your spirits up and take care of your mental health. And Thank you for watching. If you watched all the way through, I really appreciate it. And thank you for just, yeah, just thank you. And take care and see you next time.